Happy Tuesday, everybody. Full 15 game slate. Boy, yesterday, yeah, it's one of those where when everybody's on the same teams, I get real nervous. So obviously, I put out my picks, and then I like to see where everybody else is at. And a lot of the people I follow, we were literally identical in every pick. And I texted my buddy, I'm like, "This is bad. Like, it's never good when everyone's on the same picks." And yeah, that's pretty much how it went. So sweet. But before we get into that, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's free. Helps me a lot. Let's get into this fun little recap. Well, let's start with the Red Sox. So they ended up losing game one, which was a continuation game. So I felt great. Obviously, doubleheaders, you kind of go with that zigzag effect that usually will pin out in your favor. Final score was 7-3. Little misleading. They had 4 errors. Red Sox had 4 errors, and they had 2 in the first game. So a nice little combined 6 errors. They only gave up 3 earned runs in game 2. Just make the plays, man. 4 errors in one game. It's just highly unlucky. Red Sox just kept hitting into double play after double play. They both had 9 hits. So 9 hits, and they only left 3 on base, and they scored 3. So just a lot of double plays, a little unfortunate there. The Twins, if you had Bailey Ober giving up 9 earned runs in the first 2 innings on your bingo card, let me know, because that was pretty wild. Obviously, the under, that didn't pan out. That was crushed in the second inning. Then it got a long rain delay. I think final score was like 9-6. And then Miami, Colorado. I mean, if you told me that game would have been scoreless through like 5 innings, like what the hell? Ended up being 3-2. So we're fading the Rockies games. I shouldn't have gone to it initially, so we got to fade everything in Coors Field. Let's see. We ended up hitting the White Sox first 5 and the Cleveland KC Nerfy, so that was a nice one to hit. I also had Pittsburgh and Cubs in there for a Nerfy. I didn't put that in. That kind of happened later, and that also hit, so that was nice. But yeah, kind of screwy. KC won, Yankees won. We just needed Boston to win. They suck. And then on the other parlay, we just needed Boston to get 5 runs. Couldn't do that. So GG on that one. Obviously, in the other one, it didn't go so well. So the Cards ended up getting spanked. That's a bad read. But this Padres offense is so damn hit or miss. I kind of thought they would come out flat, and they did not. Obviously, we know about the Twins. White Sox, all we really cared about was the first 5. Their bullpen's just horrendous, but we got what we needed out of them. Pirates got smoked. Wow. Cubs put up 18 runs, although 6 came with like a position player pitching. I think it was Pirates first baseman in the last inning. So, but still, they got smacked around. And then the Marlins lost, but we don't really care about that. Props, we went 4-3. Nerfies, we went 1-0. So, GG. Tracking, we're back in the August has just been freaking horrible. So, back in the whatever red, I guess. Hot and cold matchups. There wasn't really anything that stood out to me other than the fact that Patrick Corbin is terrible. That's really the only thing that stood out. Let's see. There's no hot pitcher matchups today. Cold pitcher matchups. Corbin is giving up a 325 to this Yankees lineup. They've gotten 38 hits off of him. 12 have been home runs. Holy crap. And of the 38, 19 have gone for more than 1 base. So does not look good for him today. Yikes. Anyway, let's get into first game on the card. Royals at the Guardians. This line is very confusing, and to be honest with you, it's moving the other way in terms of the Royals continue to be less favorited. So I think this line's actually at plus 130 now. It's really interesting. Michael Lorenzen going up against Gavin Williams. Williams at home has not been good. He's got an 8.66 home ERA. Now that said, he doesn't have a ton of home starts, but if we just look over his last 4 games, he's given up 15 earned runs. The guy throws hard, but it is a very flat fastball. And if you throw a flat fastball, just generally doesn't go well, especially against a Kansas City team that doesn't strike out a ton. He's got a 13.6% K rate over the last 7 days against righties. That's best in baseball. 18% over the last 2 weeks. So a guy that's not going to strike them out a ton, flat fastball. line just doesn't make sense to me. I guess the bookmakers are thinking Lorenzen has a terrible day. Highly possible. Highly possible. But if we look at Lorenzen, been pretty solid over his last 5 starts. He's only given up 6 earned runs. He has faced this team back in May, went 7 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs. I believe this was in Texas when he was a part of the Rangers. So it's just a weird line. It almost makes me feel like if the books think that the Guardians are such a heavy favorite, there has to be a ton of runs. I just don't see Gavin Williams shutting down this offense. So kind of lean towards the over 9. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Wind's blowing out. It's so weird. It's just blowing me away. It's a very confusing game. But I like the Royals. All right, Phillies and the Astros. Interesting game last night. Bryce Harper ended up walking it off in the 10th. Really good game. We were on the Phillies, so that was nice to see. Let's see, but I also had the Astros run line, so that worked out pretty well. Verlander going up against Nola. If we look at Verlander, this is his second start back. His last start was against Boston. He went 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, so pretty serviceable. If we look at Nola, he's been pretty lights out. He's only given up 3 earned runs in his last 3 home starts. That was against the Nats, the Yankees, and the Dodgers. So obviously the Nats weren't anything special, but obviously Yankees and Dodgers, pretty potent offense there. If we look at Nola, he hasn't faced this Astros team a ton. He's only faced them 3 times in his career. He's got a .44 ERA. His last start was in April of 2023 at Houston. He went 8 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs. So take with that what you will. Astros offense has been pretty good. We've seen Phillies offense kind of turned around. We just had a really good pitching matchup last night. So I do like the over in this spot with the wind blowing out. I just feel like neither pitcher makes it out unscathed. So I wouldn't be shocked if we see 5-6 runs through the first 5 innings, and then both of these bullpens are pretty susceptible lately. Although they're trending in the right direction, but if you've watched the last couple games, the bullpen has been giving up some runs, especially on the Phillies side. Kind of a scary bullpen. All right, Cubs at the Pirates. Wow. Crazy little game yesterday. Justin Steele going up against Jared Jones. Jared Jones making his first start since July 3rd. If we do look at kind of what he had done previously, let's look at the previous 2 games. He'd given up 5 earned runs in 2 games versus the Cubs. So previous 2 starts against the Cubbies, 1 home, 1 away, given up 5 earned. Coming back from a pretty lengthy downtime here. So how much does he throw? I don't know. I'm sure there will be some pitch limitations, and this Pirates bullpen, not great. They're not a great bullpen. If we look at the Pirates, they have struggled against lefty pitchers. They've only gotten 9 earned runs against the last 4 left-handed starters. Steele has been pitching extremely well. And really, Steele's kind of bugaboo is home starts. He's a much better away pitcher than home. That said, 3 of his last 4 starts have been at home, and he's only given up 4 earned runs in his last 4 starts. So that said, he's faced Pittsburgh twice already this year, and he has given up 10 earned runs. So kind of works against him, but we've just seen this Pirates offense really struggle against lefties. I liked the matchup yesterday with the righty, but with the lefty, just can't really back Pittsburgh. And the Cubs are hitting. We take out that one game, the series finale versus the Marlins, which I literally said we should have picked the Marlins. Damn it. They've scored a ton of runs lately. 11.33 over the last 3. Got to kind of throw out last night. That was a bit of an outlier, but they've been scoring 7-8 runs. So I like them a lot in this spot. Jared Jones, good pitcher, but just coming back. We'll probably see maybe 4 or 5 innings. I really love the Nerfy at -130 in this game, so probably running that back again today. Angels at the Tigers. I don't really want to talk about this game much. I just don't trust the Tigers. That said, 7-3. Cueto's on the mound. I don't really see an angle to take the Angels here. Herder, decent little lefty. It's another bullpen game like every other day for the Tigers. Yeah, no angles with Cueto there. I would go Tigers. So, but I got them ranked kind of middle of the pack, but I just, for some reason, I physically can't bet the Tigers. I don't know why. I just don't trust them. All right, Reds at the A's. or A's at the Reds, I should say. Nick Lodolo going up against Mitch Spence. Lodolo been on the struggle train. I'm really shocked that this line is this high. Lodolo's given up 26 earned runs in his last 5 starts against the Royals, the Pirates, the Brewers, the Marlins, and the Cubs. He has struggled. That said, Spence hasn't been lights out. He's given up 13 earned runs over his last 4 starts. If we look at Lodolo and why he has struggled, left-handers have actually beat his ass. He's been getting torched by them. So Oakland only has 1, so it's Brent Rooker. So maybe look at a Brent Rooker prop today, maybe a home run. It's going to be extremely hot here in Cincinnati, very humid. The ball should fly. I do like the over 9.5 in this game. But I would lean Reds. It's just too weird of a line, given how bad Lodolo struggled. I mean, he's a very good pitcher, so I think he's due for some positive start value here. So I think he has a little day here. I like him. All right, next game, Yankees at the Nats. Yeah, I didn't do anything on that. I mean, it's Yankees all day. Like, I literally might do like a Yankees -2. I might ladder this and do like Yankees -2, Yankees -3 type of deal. Kind of gone back and forth with that, so check the pinned comments later for if I go with that. But Cole, we've just seen him get better and better and better every start. The Nats suck. I mean, could they get to Cole? I guess, but my God, I can't find Patrick Corbin. Damn. Just terrible track record. It's Patrick Corbin day. Yankees. Enough said. All right, Blue Jays, Red Sox. I'm an idiot, but I'm going Red Sox again. Like, they're in a huge wild card race. They're 5 games back now. They're going up against Yariel Rodriguez away, who is way different pitcher. He's given up 9 earned runs in his last 2 games. We saw he pitched a really good game against Cincinnati for about 4 innings, and then 5th, 6th inning, he got absolutely lit up. His pitch splits look terrible. I just got to assume that the Red Sox aren't going to make 4 errors today. Cooper Criswell, it's not been terrible. I know it's kind of a negative stigma about him, but his recent outings have actually been fairly solid. So I like him to get the job done today. I can't fathom that the Red Sox are going to lose 5 in a row. That said, the Blue Jays are rolling. There is 100% a path to take the Blue Jays here. So maybe I'm an idiot, but I just feel like the Red Sox have to explode at some point here. I do love the over in this game too. All right, Braves and Twins. Spencer Schwellenbach, Simeon Woods Richardson. I don't know why. I love to fade Spencer Schwellenbach. It never works in my favor. But I like a swing today. This is just kind of one of those Atlanta's bats. That's just not Atlanta's bats. No. So I like Twins to come back today. Against a righty, I feel pretty good. Like I said, lefties against the Twins, I don't like the lineup they roll out. We're going to have their normal lineup today, so I like them to get the job done against the Braves. I think this line will shift and the Braves should end up being favorites. So if you do like the Twins today, maybe wait a little bit. I think you'll get a lot more value by waiting. I'm pretty sure at some point today the Twins will be closer to -105, potentially +100. All right, Padres Cards. Dylan Cease going up against Miles Mikolas. Mikolas had his best start of the year against the Brew Crew. I know because we were on the Brewers last outing. Do I think he's going to repeat that against the Padres? No. Dylan Cease on the hill. Dylan Cease had a pretty bad outing. So I look for these pitchers to kind of flip-flop. Pitch splits look bad for Mikolas. Historically, Mikolas is significantly worse at home than he is away. I think the Padres should absolutely tag him. And I like Dylan Cease to have a really nice bounce-back start here. All right, Rangers, White Sox. Garrett Crochet day. Crochet's been really solid. He's only going to give you probably 4, maybe 5 innings at most. Andrew Haney's nothing special. That said, he's a significantly better pitcher at home than he is away. Pitch splits look really good. For Haney, it's really hard to take the White Sox. I mean, first 5, I don't mind a first 5 for them, but their bullpen is real bad. If they don't have like a 7-run lead heading into the 5th inning, probably not going to win. So really hard for me to back the White Sox here, even with Crochet on the mound. Maybe aside from a first 5. Once he's out of the game, it's ball game. So not going to play that game. I don't love it. It's ugly. Giants at the Brewers. This line, I believe, has shifted, and I think the Brewers are favored now. So this was a really weird one for me when I saw it and kind of tagged it right away. Myers going up against Webb. Webb is one of those pitchers really good at home. He definitely has some regression when he's away from San Francisco. Myers, decent home pitcher, got about a 3 ERA. Webb's pitched super well in his last 5. That said, 4 of the 5 have been at home. So it's one of those guys I like to fade him when he's away. Giants offense doesn't necessarily scare me. Brewers really haven't been hitting. Kind of feels like a good series, home series, to start cracking the bats out a little bit. Tobias Myers in his last 5 games has only given up 6 earned runs, so he's been super solid. I like the Brew Crew to get it done here. I think they should pounce them. I just don't think the Giants offensively can keep up with the Brewers. All right, next game, Rockies Marlins. Don't care about this game. I'll go Rockies. Cal Quantrill's actually been pretty decent at home. Rodri Munoz, terrible pitcher. So I would say take the over because the wind's blowing out, but don't trust either team. Fade, fade, fade. All right, next game, Mets at the D-backs. Eduardo Rodriguez, Sean Manaea. We're seeing a pretty tight line here. I know the D-backs are on an absolute tear. It's just because Rodriguez has not been great. You pretty much count that he's going to give up probably 3 runs today minimum. Probably only going to pitch 5 innings. So, yeah, I went back and forth on this. Actually, I think I was trying to find an angle to get to the Mets, but I can't. I'm not going to fade a team that's on a tear. They're at home. Only question mark is sometimes when they go on these long road trips and come back home, the bats don't make the trip back. So, but I can't fade this team. They've just been hitting really well right now. We've seen them absolutely torch left-handed starters. So I got to go D-backs here. Maybe a slight lean. If this line were a little better, let's say Mets were like plus 120, yeah, I think it's worth taking a flyer on them. But can't really trust them. We look at Rodriguez giving up 7 earned runs in his last 3 games. Manaea's given up 3 runs per game average over his last 3 to Baltimore, Miami, and Seattle. Baltimore, I get. Miami and Seattle, I don't know. So Manaea away, just don't love it. His pitch splits don't look good. I see a lot of runs. I think there's value in taking the over 9 in this game at plus money. Could definitely see this being a slugfest. All right, Rays at the Mariners. Logan Gilbert. I think we're getting a little too high of value here. Jeffrey Springs has been pretty good. He's only given up 5 earned runs in his last 3 starts, and that was against the A's, the D-backs, and the Orioles. So 2 pretty tough teams. Logan Gilbert, not been good. 19 earned runs in his last 4 starts. 9 earned runs in his last 2 home starts against the Dodgers. Give you that. But Pittsburgh smacked him around. So this feels like a beautiful spot to take the Rays after last night. I think they lost 5-1. Most of those runs came in 1 inning. So I think a Rosarina, who we had called out to get over a half a base or something like that yesterday, hit a nice little 3-run home run. So I had a feeling he'd give his old team the big middle finger. So, all right, last game on the card. Orioles at the Dodgers, Jack Flaherty, Cole Irvin. Irvin, not been good. He's given up 16 earned runs in his last 18.1 innings pitched. So, doesn't bode well for him. That said, Dodgers haven't exactly been crushing left-handed starters, but the Orioles haven't been hitting right-handers. Hardly at all. 153 average. You got Jack Flaherty on the other side of the hill. He's averaging about 2 earned runs in his 4 starts with the Dodgers. 2 home, 2 away. He's done a little bit worse at home, actually. So is there a path to the Orioles? Maybe. I would say, if anything, if you believe in the Orioles, take the over at plus money. Plus 102. You're still kind of favoring the Orioles because the only way the Orioles win is if they score a ton of runs. So maybe look at an Orioles team total. I just think there's better ways to play the Orioles aside from taking the money line. All right, so something new I added yesterday. I'll let you guys just kind of take a second. You might want to screenshot this and review it. But essentially, this is looking at every starting pitcher today. kind of looking at their K prop and then my lean. So you can see my lean. The plays I like are in green in terms of pitching, but this maybe will help you guys build some pitching props rather than just kind of telling you my over under. I thought it would be nice to just kind of show some data here. So obviously red is bad, green is good, white's just kind of in the middle. So maybe that will help you guys make some plays here. But like I said, so Lorenzen. K-prop's 4.5. Just seems a little high, right? So again, this kind of leads me to believe that the Royals have a decent chance today. It's kind of the opposite, right? So if we look at Lorenzen, K-prop's 4.5. He's only averaging under 4 on the season. He's averaging about 5.5 innings pitched. Guardians are striking out at below the league average, right? So we've got a pitcher that's already well below league average, going up against a Guardians team that's K'ing below league average, and they're walking at a decently high rate. So they're seeing a lot of pitches. And his K-prop's 4.5. It's just, it's kind of weird, right? And then Gavin Williams, we look at him. He's about league average. About 25% is starting K rate, 24 somewhere in there. So about league average. He's averaging 5.2 Ks a game. Going up against a team that doesn't strike out a ton, his K-prop's only 3.5. This guy's one of those, if he's not going to strike out a bunch, he's getting hit hard. His hard hit percentage is quite high because he does throw hard, but he throws flat. So again, just those two lines really kind of stood out to me, and it's like, all right, well, they're expecting Lorenzen to not just get smacked all around. His K-prop's higher than normal. So something that stood out to me. Nola, 5.5. That's a little high. Going up against this Astros lineup that's striking out, a decent amount below league average. And Nola is not a prolific K guy anyway. He has a below average strikeout percentage. So 5.5 really high. Jared Jones, 6.5, coming first game after not pitching in a month and a half. It's really high against a Cubs team that's really not striking out much over the last 30 days against right-handed pitching. So just a couple stood out there. Obviously, Dylan Cease as well, 5.5 line. He's averaging 7 on the season. I know the Cardinals don't strike out a ton, so this line's probably pretty appropriate. But I just think Dylan Cease has a pretty good day. He needs a good bounce back day. And then the last one I liked was Flaherty. He's averaging almost 7.5. Orioles, they've been striking out a decent amount lately over the past week or so. So I like him on that. So those are the pitching sheet. Like I said, you can kind of screenshot that, review it, maybe find some bets in there for yourself. All right, best bets. There might be more. I kind of want to look at a few things. So like I said, check the pinned comments in case I add some, but I like Dodgers team total over 4.5. Really, we're just fading Irvin. The guy's been giving up a ton of earned runs, about an earned run an inning. So I like that spot for the Dodgers. Toronto, Boston over 9.5. I think Rodriguez gets shelled, and I think Toronto definitely scores some runs. All right, and then Royals money line, just doing a half a unit on this. It's really fishy. Just gut. I like the Royals. And then Logan Gilbert under 7.5 Ks. So this was from our pitching sheet. I forgot to highlight this. This was actually my favorite play, obviously, because I'm going with it. But we'll talk about that real quick, too. So he's basically league average in Ks. His thing is he just pitches a ton of innings, which lately he has not been. But he's been averaging 6.23 Ks a game. Rays are striking out a little bit above league average. But just a game where I feel like he's going to get hit up and probably won't make it to the 6th inning, hopefully. All right, so taking value there at -105. Parlays I like, Yankees -1, Padres and Cubs. Pair those together at +356. And then Boston, Philly, and Milwaukee +1. So we're just adding some insurance there at +367. And then our fun parlay, Yankees, Red Sox, Cubs, Phillies, Padres. +1,167. And then our upset parlay did a little bit different today. So we took the Orioles, the Athletics, the Pirates, and the Rays on the run line. So +1.5 runs at +660. Props I like, Schwellenbach over 1.5 earned runs. That's just, I know it's really juiced at -174, but that's just, that's pretty crazy. So it should give that up, I would imagine, by like the 4th inning. So maybe pair that with something. Yariel Rodriguez over 1.5 earned runs. Again, that's kind of a smack in the face to the Red Sox. I know Berrios had an absolute day, ended up going into the 8th last night. Something's got to give. Like the Red Sox got to show up. And then Brandon Marsh over a half of a hit runner and RBI. It's just like stupid low for him. Max Muncy. I love this. They keep giving us Max Muncy this low. I'll take it all day. Over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at plus money. And then Trey Turner over 1.5 total bases. So I like all those. Nerfies, Cubs, Pirates, Giants, Brewers, and Rangers, White Sox. 3 Nerfies I like today. And then you can kind of see some other leans that I was looking at here. Atlanta, Minnesota over 8. After we kind of got burned on it yesterday, I thought about going back to it. Still might. And then, like I said, Mets in Arizona plus 100 over 9. Could definitely see some runs being scored there. And then if you're on Baltimore today, like I said, I would just suggest taking the over 9 because that's the only way they're going to win. They're going to have to score a lot of runs to win today. So those are my props, picks, predictions, all that good stuff. Appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, make sure you give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I will catch you tomorrow.